What's going on, guys? Linus here. Welcome to some more LawBreakers gameplay. This is a ball match. I honestly forget the game type. I think it might be something like Blitzball, but they probably gave it a different name. Either way, I uploaded a video yesterday talking about how I enjoyed LawBreakers, and I'll probably record a little bit more during the beta, so there's a little bit here. And I actually decided to play another game. Or another class, obviously another game as well. Another class. Like, I played the Titan and I played the Enforcer, which are both somewhat standard if you've played any other similar games. Like, the Titan is just heavy with a rocket launcher, the Enforcer uses an assault rifle. So he's a lot like Soldier 76. But I watched the tutorials in the game yesterday, which I thought they would be tutorials that you play through, but they're actually just YouTube videos, which is, you know, pretty lazy, but let's not get into that. And I watched the video for the Wraith, and I heard people talking online saying that the Wraith was very overpowered, and my experience didn't really reflect that at first, because the games that I played earlier, which was like the first day of beta, I think, I didn't even see the Wraith, at least I don't think I did, and I did pretty well as an Enforcer and everything. So I switched to the Wraith. This is obviously not my best game with the Wraith. It was just this is sort of a standard game that we lost in the end. Spoiler alert. If you care about spoilers, then I already spoiled you, and you probably already unsubscribed. But you know, I had a game also where I played the Wraith for the first time, and I literally didn't die all game. I might upload that as well, just to show you guys what this class can do. But in my opinion, is it overpowered? Yes. It took me a couple games to really figure it out, but yeah, I think it's very overpowered for a variety of reasons. First of all, let's go over the loadout that the Wraith has. As you can see, they have a fully automatic pistol and a short sword, so left click shoots your pistol. So you can either feather it, where you shoot a couple bullets, so, you know, sort of burst it, which is great at range. Or you can just blast it full auto if somebody's right in your face. It does great damage. That's one thing. It does a lot of damage. It's really, really good. But it's especially good paired with that short sword, which if you click your right mouse button, you will do a short lunge. And that does a lot of damage to people, for sure. Thing is, if somebody is on the verge of death, probably around 15% of their health, maybe 10, and you hit them with it, they're always going to be dead. That's the thing that it does, sort of criticals them to death, making that super powerful. So that already makes the Wraith pretty powerful, like he's got pretty good weaponry. However, another thing that he has is amazing mobility. If you press left shift, you will slide across the ground pretty fast, and if you hit someone with that, it will also damage them and knock them back. So you can actually combine that with shooting or using your blade, and you'll do this little combo that does a whole lot of damage. Then there's his E, which if you press E, you shoot a little explosive sort of ballistic knife, which will either explode if left alone for a little while, it's on a timer, or if you shoot it, it will also explode. You can also attach it to enemies, where I assume it will do even more damage. So that is yet another really, really powerful tool that the Wraith has. Then there's the fact that he has triple jump. He can jump 3 times, and he can bounce off of walls and stuff, which you can combine with the slide, so you can slide in and then just start bouncing around while you shoot people or stab them or whatever. And you've got this projectile that will just bounce around a room, just unloading on people, and when they get low on health, you just, you know, close up and, or close in and finish them with your sword, which is amazing. Like, you got amazing mobility. Probably the best in the game, I think, out of everything I've played for sure, but there is an assassin character that I haven't played that might have better mobility, but either way, right here you've got amazing weaponry combined with just also amazing mobility. Not to mention that his health is actually very, very high. He's got 350 health. The Titan has 500. I feel like he should have about half of what the Titan has to make it at least more fair. This should be an assassin type character, you know, because he bounced around the room, he's got crazy mobility, it's really hard to hit him. You should only have to hit him a couple of times to have him die. You know, that's the thing, like, you're trading off mobility in games for killing power, or for health, or armor. You can't have everything at once, that's insane. So that's kind of, you know, the Wraith. Then there's his ultimate ability, which is also pretty good, but it's very difficult to hit people with, and I feel like that is obviously the most balanced out of all his abilities, which if you hit someone, you press Q, you shoot a little beam. If you hit somebody with that, they will get slowed down a lot. And not only their movement speed, but also their firing speed and their reload speed and everything. So it's a pretty good ultimate ability. It doesn't really seem in line with his other abilities, but at least it's balanced. It doesn't seem overpowered or anything like that. So that's kind of the Wraith. I had some experience with it. I can now say, yes, it is overpowered. We sort of steamrolled the enemy team. I think the first two uplink points, which is you're supposed to capture a satellite, bring it to your base, and then connect it there, and leave it alone for a little while, and you know, you get a point. So we got the first 2 points pretty easily, and then something pretty amazing happened, which you'll see later on in the game. But the enemy team decided to switch to the Wraith as well, because obviously they realized, they saw a Wraith or two zipping around, and they were like, this is insane, I'm gonna switch to Wraith as well, and they, you know, actually started fighting back. Like this guy I killed in the beginning, I honestly don't remember his name. I think he was a different class, and then suddenly he switched to Wraith, and before we knew it, I believe the entire enemy team was Wraiths, with the exception of one person, which makes sense because if you see a class in an online game that is incredibly overpowered, you're going to switch to that. That's the thing, like, I played a couple, I think I play 4 or 5 different classes right now, and I feel like the Wraith is the only one that doesn't really have a trade-off. Like with the Titan, you're sacrificing speed for just a lot of armor and a really heavy gun that is quite difficult to shoot. This gun is not. If somebody is slow, you can just shred him with your gun, you can slide in, kick him back, you stab him, you can throw your little knife grenade at him, whatever. With the Titan, it doesn't really work like that because you have a rocket launcher. So if somebody's zipping around the room, it's actually incredibly difficult to get a direct hit on them. If not borderline impossible. Like you actually have to have amazing aim to pull that off. So it just doesn't work, is my thing. So I haven't played the other classes yet. I probably will, but if the Wraith infestation is still so terrible, then I'm not sure that I really want to, because I feel like this is going to be the class that literally everybody will play, and they already are, and if the full game is released, it's probably not going to change. It's a fun class to play because you're sort of zipping around and you're shooting people and you're stabbing people, and it's pretty great. Like, even as you can see, like, even the pistol, which is like an auto-firing pistol, is actually really strong, especially up close. You can really just unload on someone and do a ton of damage. It's amazing. So people are going to keep playing this class, and I'm worried that if they don't, you know, nerf the class, when this game is released, they might as well just call it, you know, Wraith Breakers or Law Wraiths or something. It's insane. So I'm really hoping they fix it. I mean, they pretty much have to, is my point, is there's a couple of things they can do. They could reduce his damage a little bit and see how that works, or like, the main thing, which I think would be the most fair, is to reduce his health pretty significantly. I'd say to about 250, maybe 275, because that way other classes still, you know, have a chance of winning. I also saw a little bit of medic in this game. Someone on my team was playing as the medic, and he actually did a pretty good job healing me every now and again, which actually turns out to be really nice. Like, you're low on health, you're running for a health pack, you're trying to figure out where to go to heal, and somebody will just heal you up on your team, which is great. So I think that class actually might see more use later on, as people realize that having a dedicated healer is actually really nice. But yeah, the Wraith definitely needs a nerf. That's pretty much the only new thing that I've really found out. I feel like the Assassin isn't nearly as overpowered. I haven't played as the Assassin yet, but she appears to have 2 blades, which are still strong, but she's quite squishy, as the Wraith should be, and she really needs to be up close and personal. Like, this is the Assassin thing that we're seeing right there. Maybe not, I'm not entirely sure. But I think she has 2 blades. You're supposed to sort of get close to an enemy and then you just slice him. Like I said, I haven't played him yet. I'd like to play at least every class once just to have an idea of the content that the game has to offer, because game mode wise it's really not all that much. It just feels very, very basic so far. With, you know, I've played Uplink, I've played whatever Blitzball, and I've played Turf War. I think those are really the 3 game types. I don't remember seeing just a team deathmatch type of game or anything similar. It's all somewhat the same. Turf War is actually quite different because it has 3 objectives, but Uplink and the ball thing only have 1 objective in the middle that both teams are supposed to capture or bring back to their base, and nothing really changes. You get a point and then you go back to the middle. It's not like Overwatch, which I feel a really good thing about Overwatch is that once you get a point, or, you know, a round is won, basically, what you do is you switch sides or you go to a different point, and it feels a lot better that way. In this game, they don't actually do that. You just get a point, and then the objective will respawn in the middle, which, you know, it feels like a missed opportunity, but also really will cause teams to just sort of tilt where nothing changes. So the enemy team is destroying them, and you just sort of keep rushing in there, trying to, you know, take the objective and everything, but it doesn't really work out for you, and nothing changes in between rounds to sort of help you out or even the odds again. I feel at least like changing sides would help, even though the sides on this map are, I think, pretty much exactly the same, but I just feel like it would be a helpful thing to add right there. I'm also not entirely sure if there are more game types in the full game. I think there's 1 class that is currently locked, which will probably be unlocked in the full game then. But that gives you a total of 9 different characters, and I'm not entirely sure that that's going to be enough to really, you know, tide people over and sort of keep them interested in the game. Because I feel like most people are just going to default to 1 class that at the time is really powerful, like the Wraith would be right now. And then, you know, obviously the Wraith, if it doesn't get nerfed, people are going to stop playing this game eventually, or everybody will be Wraith. And the thing is, if it does get nerfed, people are just going to flock to a different class that is then going to be the most powerful, and it helps to have a lot of different, you know, classes to play, or just characters, because it gives you variety. Another thing that might help is to sort of lock the amount of choices that you have. So somebody picks Wraith, and then you can only have 1 Wraith on the team. That would be helpful, but I feel like they're probably not going to do that because there's only 8 or 9 characters. So somebody picks Wraith, somebody picks Enforcer, somebody picks Assassin or Gunslinger, and then you're left with maybe class that you don't really enjoy. So that might not work with this game. You know, simply because there aren't enough characters available to choose from. So I'm just trying to think of ways that they can fix this game, because I had a lot of fun with it, and even this game was fun to me. Like, I did have fun because I was playing as a Wraith, and I was able to actually get kills, and at the end I still did pretty okay. Like, I tried going after the objective, like, pretty hard, and every time I basically got 1 kill, and then you die, and then you get a kill, and you die, and that's sort of how it goes. Which isn't a lot of fun, but at least it's not like you're getting demolished. It's just sort of like pretty even. But that's because I was playing as a Wrath. Had I been playing as Enforcer or anything else, I probably would have not been enjoying it. Another thing that I noticed, by the way, which I just realized because I opened up the chat there, is that I saw a lot of people leaving. I'm not entirely sure if there is a mechanic for leaving the game where you get sort of a penalty, you know, that prevents you from joining new games, or, you know, something similar. Maybe you get less experience, or, you know, lose experience, whatever, or not allowed to join a game in a while. I have no idea, but I feel like it shouldn't be this easy to constantly just leave games. It's not like there's a ranked game mode where it would make sense to, you know, penalize you there. So I'm not entirely sure how that works, but it did bother me that people noticed that we weren't doing that well, and they just kept leaving. And that's actually what happened, I think, as soon as the enemy team got the uplink for the first time, and they were at like 60%, I think somebody left, and I was like, why would you do that? Because we could easily turn this around. Like, we had 2 points, they didn't even have 1 yet. If you leave, your team only has 4 people going up against the enemy's 5, which basically really tilts the game in the to the advantage of the enemies. So that was the thing that definitely bothered me, and I'm not entirely sure how they're going to deal with that. So I haven't left a game myself because I don't like doing that, because you screw over your own team. And honestly, I generally only do that when I actually have to go, or something similar, or when everybody else has already left. But generally when I play a game, any type of game online, I never leave in the middle of the game because it really screws over your team. So I'm hoping to see that they deal with that in a good way, but I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, this is like pretty much nearing the end of the game. As you can see, we win 2 points and then immediately we lose 3 in a row, causing us to lose the game. And there was basically nothing that we could really do about that. The enemy team had 4 Wraiths, we only had 1, which was me. Which, you know, that did allow me to get 1 kill on one of these Wraiths, but, you know, that's how it goes. Like, every single time I get a kill, I get killed again. 4 Wraiths is insane. It's basically impossible to beat. I just realized that at the top of the screen you could actually see what people are playing. So yeah, 4 Wraiths, pretty ridiculous. Not really sure what to think of this game. It did give me pause, you know, with regards to pre-order. I wouldn't pre-order this game, first of all, because it's been in development so long. It's 30 euros. I feel like I would be worried that not too many people are actually going to play it, or that these issues are going to persist in the full game, so I'm not going to pre-order. I generally don't like pre-ordering anyway. I mean, I'm just not a big fan of that, so will not be doing that, but I will be keeping an eye on the game. The beta will be going on for 2 more days from today onwards, so that was my ultimate ability right there. Finally hit someone, but I still died. I'll be keeping an eye on the game, and I'll be playing the beta for the next 2 days, and a little bit at least. And I'll try to get some gameplay as other classes, and get some more up on here. I know most of you probably don't really care about this game. Some of you appear to be playing it, which is cool, and I'd like to hear more opinions on what you guys think of all this. But yeah, that is basically what's going on right now. So I will be uploading a little bit more of this as the beta continues, just because I enjoy it, and I'm just going to upload, you know, stuff that I enjoy uploading. I'm not, you know, going to really trying too hard to only upload stuff that gets the most views or anything. So I'll definitely upload a little bit more to beta. Possibly as I get nice gameplays, and later on I'm also going to upload that gameplay that I got earlier where I played a full game without dying at all, which was pretty great. So that's the end of the game. We got demolished towards the end, and you can see the top 5 players, which, look at that, it's 4 Wraiths. That's a problem. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I did pretty well too. Like, I was number 4 of the whole game, you know. I'll take it, sure. Like, that wasn't too bad. 25 kills. At least I went for the objective. I tried, you know, and I got an A grade, which is nice. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later.